Originally, the idea of putting out a fire was to pitch something at it that would effectively extinguish the flames. However, experience proves that in reality, people are so concerned for their own safety that any activity that endangers their lives was too risky, so it was that handheld fire extinguishing devices such as an extinguisher or water bucket were very effective due to the extreme heat of the fire. More effective is a device like a ball or sphere that can be tossed at the fire from a safe distance. Ideally, this sphere or ball device has to be lightweight and easy to throw or toss into the fire. Consideration had to conclude the effectiveness of this ball by using only high-quality chemicals within the sphere to maximize their extinguishing ability and safety for the user. At first, this proved to be no mean task, as these mean tests, trials, and adjustments had to be experimented with. A great deal of the credit for this endeavor and its success must go to Mr. Varadet Graimat for the persistence and effort he contributed to the project and its success, perfecting the device we now know as the Elide Fire extinguisher. A device which can extinguish a medium-sized fire by simply tossing it into the blaze. One Elide Fire extinguisher ball can effectively extinguish and shield a burning area of 1.296 square meters. If two Elide Fire extinguishers are used, the area covered is 2.592 square meters, the equivalent to a 3 minutes blaze, in the total extinguishing time of 1 to 3 seconds. An explosion of no more than 139 decibels also serves as a danger warning to alert people of the fire. The Trade Leaders Club of Berlin, Germany, in association with Sime Safety Premier Company, with the cooperation of the inventor and researchers of the extinguishing ball, have been awarded for the year 2002 the Outstanding Products Award Great Reward, indeed from a company that has been established over 33 years. The award was rewarded in conjunction with an international publishing house and voted for by 1,500 leading businessmen from 122 financially successful countries from all over the world. This award is known as the International Quality Crowd Award 2004, which was presented in London, England. The award recognizes the high quality of this product and its outstanding success. The Elide Fire extinguisher has the legislative protection rights as follows. 1. Type patent number 18966. 2. The United States of America, Patent US 6796382B2. 3. The International Patent Number PCT /US 2002/025158 World Intellectual Property Organization, whose head office is in Geneva, Switzerland, and covering with 136 countries which are members. 4. The Chinese patent number CN 1713935A. Mr. Waradate Graimat, his invention has not only acquired international fame for himself, but also brought recognition of the standard of production for Thailand. His status and outstanding ingenuity in Thailand has enhanced Thailand's quest for high standards in production. Proof of this is obvious when one experiences the trustworthiness, safety, and reliability of the Elide Fire extinguisher. Small wonder then that this product has established confidence for its vigilance in fire extinguishing and fire detection capabilities in countries such as Malaysia, Singapore, Turkey, China, India, and other countries. The efficient effectiveness of the Elide Fire extinguisher may be viewed by any potential customer simply by logging on to www.acesp.co.th. Mr. Waradate Graimat is happy to answer any question pertaining to the Elide Fire extinguisher in practical use situations. Frequently asked questions such as: how does fire occur?
To make a fire, you need temperature that can turn any combustible fuel into a vapor mixed with oxygen sets off a chain reaction that results in a fire, which only subsides once the fuel supply is exhausted.
How is the Elide Fire extinguisher used?
The Elide Fire extinguisher has a dual function: one, to extinguish fire at the immediate source, and two, alert as a vigilant fire alarm when activated. Once the Elide Fire extinguisher is activated, it emits special chemicals which will extinguish the fire. At the same time, the Elide Fire extinguisher also gives off a loud sound, which in turn alerts the would-be victims of a fire. Put simply, anyone who is able to recognize that by a simple toss of an Elide Fire extinguisher into a source of the fire becomes an able firefighter. The damage is then reduced significantly.
What if a fire occurs in the ceilings of a house or building? What can be done?
The advantage that the Elide Fire extinguisher has is it can be installed in the ceiling cavity or other risk areas of any building or home with ease. Once installed, it can activate in case of fire and put it out immediately it starts to stop the fire spreading further. Another benefit is that once activated, the Elide Fire extinguisher will erupt with a loud sound that alerts anyone in the building that a fire has broken out.
How effective is the Elide Fire extinguisher in outdoor fires?
The Elide Fire extinguisher is designed specifically for indoor use only, so it is very limited when it comes to outdoor fires. However, it is interesting to note that the most dangerous and costly fires predominantly occur in the inside of buildings.
Can the Elide Fire extinguisher put out wildfires?
This particular model of the Elide Fire extinguisher can extinguish wildfires, but it has a limited range. If anyone is interested in wildfire protection, they should contact SSP, as special orders can be tailor-made to suit specific needs. It should also be pointed out that specially made systems must be operated under the strict supervision of fire protection experts and not by the public in general.
Are chemicals used in the Elide Fire extinguisher in any way dangerous?
Chemicals used in the manufacture of the Elide Fire extinguisher are in no way harmful to humans, animals, articles or objects. All chemicals used in the manufacture of the Elide Fire extinguisher have been rigorously tested by laboratories in Germany and approved by the Universal Organization Standards Code. In no way can they be labelled hazardous to human, animals or the environment.
Is the burst of noise emitted from the Elide fire extinguisher harmful to the human ears?
The noise from the Elide fire extinguisher burst complies with universal noise standard requirements. It does not exceed 140 dB and is more likely to be in the 137 to 139 dB range. At this level, the noise emitted is not harmful to human ears.
How does the Elide fire extinguisher cope with a large fuel fire?
The Elide fire extinguisher is relatively ineffective in these situations because of its limitations. Namely, it will spread chemicals over the immediate area of the fire, but after the initial burst, about 5 to 10 seconds, it fades away rapidly. For this reason, it would be considered unsuitable in large fuel fires. Nevertheless, there is a very important role for the Elide fire extinguisher as a warning alarm in such places where oxygen is limited, such as fuel storerooms. In these areas, it can be most effective.
What can be done if we are unable to hit the target of the main burn point area when we throw the Elide fire extinguisher?
Firstly, the Elide fire extinguisher is designed to be installed in the high-risk areas prior to the event of a fire in order to protect or keep damage to property to a limit. In most cases, these areas are well known to the house owner or building manager. In the event of a fire breaking out, the Elide fire extinguisher will do its work efficiently and immediately put out the blaze. Secondly, larger buildings have safety officers employed for emergencies such as fire. Generally, the building owner will install the Elide fire extinguisher in the high-risk areas. In these instances, the fire Elide extinguisher becomes a two-prong attack on the fire because it helps to put out the immediate danger of fire and alerts the safety officer. But also it assists the fire investigators to locate the exact location of the ignition point of the fire.
Is the explosion from the Elide fire extinguisher likely to cause damage to immediate goods and property?
When fire occurs, there is always some damage to goods and property. Articles will burn. The power of the blast from the Elide fire extinguisher is insufficient to be a threat to any property or goods out of the immediate fire area. The cover and materials within the sphere are made from CFC-free foam. In other words, the Elide fire extinguisher uses only soft materials, both in its manufacture and in its emission. So no harmful damage is possible outside of the fire area.
Is it dangerous if children use the Elide fire extinguisher as a toy?
It is recommended that the Elide fire extinguisher is not used as a toy or a ball by anyone. However, in the event of a fire, it is possible for an elder child to actively throw the Elide fire extinguisher to put out any indoor fire.
Will the Elide fire extinguisher detonate automatically if dropped accidentally?
If the Elide fire extinguisher is dropped, it will not detonate, but damage is possible if the fall exceeds 1 meter.
What other concerns have people expressed about the use of an Elide fire extinguisher?
The Elide fire extinguisher is not recommended for use in fires from liquid fuels that are in a confined area or a canister deeper than 1 litre, as it could prove to be dangerous. Elide fire extinguishers are acknowledged by the International Standards Benchmark. CM Safety Premier Company assures all its customers that the Elide fire extinguisher will take the anxiety of fire anyone may have once the Elide fire extinguisher is installed. Our commitment to the quality of this product is absolute. We are convinced that every home, building and office should use the Elide fire extinguisher and get to know it as your protective friend in the case of fire. Our question to you is, have you installed an Elide fire extinguisher to protect you yet? If not, do so today.